are Puppets with a Purpose.
Yay!
And so we're here to share with you about the effectiveness of using puppetry in ministry. There are lots of different kinds of puppetry that you can use. So we just use some of them, but sometimes we employ other things like a little bit of shadow puppetry or something like that. So you can use a lot of different kinds depending on what your resources are. So just to give you a little taste, give us a minute here. This is a very portable stage. It's made out of the hula hoops that are different pieces that you put together. So there's 8 in a set. I used 7, and we made this curtain. It's easier to make a solid curtain, less work, so do solid curtains. This was my first one. Underneath is PVC, a PVC base, and PVC stands, and then a part. You can look at it later if you were interested in making one for yourself. So it's not expensive, and it's collapsible. Very easy to take out and carry and bring back with you. So in a couple of minutes, you've got it set up here. What we call this a teacher puppet skit because we have a live person on the outside and the puppet on the inside. All right. Well, glad to see you here this morning. I'm excited for the workshop today. And I have a friend here who would really love to meet you. Her name is Jeannie, and she loves meeting new people. She loves making new friends. So she'll be really excited to meet all of you. She does like a grand entrance, though. Okay, and she's not the most humble being on the face of the earth, but we love her. She's teachable, and sometimes she teaches us things. So let's see, to get Jeannie to come out, how about we all say together, good morning, Jeannie. All right, make it a grand entrance on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3.
Good morning, Jeannie.
There she is, okay.
Good morning, world. You are so beautiful.
Jeannie, it's good to see you this morning. Welcome.
Yeah, good morning, Mom. Well, the lecture is about me.
No. It's not really about me, Jeannie. You're not exactly the whole star of the show.
What? It's about the effectiveness of the puppetry in outreach, right, Mom Sharon?
Yes, it is.
Well, that's me. Ta-da! I'm the puppet. I'm the star of the show.
Well, okay, that's only partly true. You see, without your puppeteer, you would actually only be foam and fabric and other stuff. You would be lifeless.
Huh?
Yeah, take a look down below you behind the curtain.
Ah, there's someone there.
Yeah, there is someone there.
Yeah. They have their hands on me. And they are controlling me.
Yeah, in this case, it's not a bad thing. That's not a scary thing. You see, that's your puppeteer. And your puppeteer helps you to be all that you were created to be. All right? And then you're allowing the world to learn about Jesus. And guess what? Your puppeteer is also allowing the Lord to help them to be all they were created to be, right? So together, you're both sharing the good news about Jesus in a special way.
Ah, I guess that is pretty awesome. Now, only to do I have a really close partner down here, but to make God our partner too.
That's right, and with God as your partner, nothing is impossible because you both together make Jesus the star of the show. You make God the star of the show. And, you know what?
What, Mom?
because you have this special relationship with the Lord and you're being used in a special way, then there's people out there who might pay attention to the gospel who wouldn't otherwise pay attention to the gospel.
Ah, that's a lot for me to think about. Hey, I think I go out and introduce my beautiful self to my puppeteer. See you later, guys. Bye-bye.
Bye. Okay, so that gave you a little taste of what puppetry can be like, right? Because you can develop that around any lesson. It doesn't have to take months to prepare. You can prepare overnight as long as you know your conversation. It's going back and forth. So it's very easy to use. Our team here at their home church, every week they're preparing things. Every week. And I think it's one day to do the skits, and then they do it also on video. And then they send it in to the one who puts it all together. So in 2 days, they've got what they take out the neighborhoods, right, and also what they share online. And it only takes them 2 days every week to do that. So yes, so this is one way to do puppetry. I want to share one story. One of my first young men that I trained was from about 2 hours away in Bulacan. And he just really fell in love with puppetry right away, skilled at making puppets and understanding how they were made. So he was one of our leaders. This past year, he went to be with the Lord. He's in his 30s. But Ursel has left quite a legacy. I want to tell you the effectiveness of puppetry in his life. So puppetry actually helped him decide to go full-time into the ministry and then work a smaller job. He was working for a call center. He stopped working for the call center because he felt he had his place in ministry after he started with puppetry, and eventually studied and became a pastor. So he had been graduated 1 year before he passed away, and was starting to pastor also. But his pastor, Pastor Dax, one day had asked their team to pick a number between 1 and, I don't know if it was 100 or 1 and whatever, and Ursel picked 100. They didn't know why Pastor Dax was asking them to pick a number. And then afterwards, Pastor Dax said, "Now I want you to go and make that many disciples." And Ursel's like, "Oh, 100. How will I make 100 disciples?" And so Pastor Dax said, "Well, what has the Lord put in your hands?" And at that point, Ursel had been doing puppetry. And so he said, "Go ahead and take your puppetry and try to get into the schools." And so Ursel was able to do that. First he met the, owner of a public-private school, and the owner was impressed by what he shared, because they asked, can you change the hearts of the kids? And he said, God can do that. Yeah. So then he introduced him to the principal, and then they had him come in to teach values class. So he used puppetry, and it was himself, right, as the believer that he was. He wound up calling me. It was a couple months later. He was so excited because I was in the States on furlough. And he was so excited to share with me this whole story and say that I have at the point he called me, he said over an 80, but he did reach the 100. I have over 80 disciples, he called a couple months later. And what happened was the students in his class, it really opened their hearts to listen. And then some of the students asked him to come to their homes and do a small group. So he would go into their homes and do a small group. So like puppetry was the open door, right, to get in and to make people's hearts open. And then Ursel was able to go in without puppetry and have small groups in the homes. And then the parent might listen, and then they invited them to come in the home instead of outside in the Nipa hut. And then one dad sat down and told the mom, "You come listen." So parents are affected. And it started with the puppets giving him the open door. I'm sorry that this is making a lot of other noise too. So he also wound up starting small groups with the teachers in the school, and the principal and her family. They came to trust in the Lord as their Savior. And so over 100, but the thing that got him in the door was the puppetry. And not just the puppetry in that case, it's his puppetry and his testimony. So it is a partnership. It's a partnership between the Lord, between the believer, and between the puppet. When the Lord is in your partnership, he can make anything you do effective. Yeah, even a simple thing like puppetry. All right. Let's see. Jolene, would you come up and share?
I'm sorry, I'm not. Okay lang yun. Hello. Am I beautiful? No, no.
Are you hearing that through there or not? No.
No, Mike.
The one.
Uh-oh. Okay, am I beautiful now? Anyway, I'm Jeline Orinday. I'm one of the members of Ma'am Sharon's Puppeteering with a Purpose. And my experience in puppeteering is so wonderful. But in the beginning, I'm so shy really. Puppeteering has a huge impact in me because I'm a shy person. And being a shy person, I'm always struggling in public speaking like this. And I have a self-doubt because I'm not good looking really and I'm getting older. But God works so amazing in my life. He gave me a wonderful voice. Not really my voice exactly, but a voice that could share the gospel, a laughter, being in front of people, behind the scene while I'm there. So, only puppeteering is a powerful tool for me to connect to other people and overcoming my limitations.
You to know that I used to be shy also. Well, I still am an introvert. That doesn't change. But God excited me so much because I can sing with a puppet and people like it. Like in real life, maybe not. And I can be so excited that way. So. Oh, that's not coming out, is it? So Jolene is behind the curtain. That is her sister Ava. And they're in a neighborhood. They're our church. It's such a good way to be able to interact with the children and they feel like they're part of what the puppet is doing as well. And adults watch, and there's our shy Jolene.
Ay, gulay.
At an outreach in Cambodia. Okay, that was in a school, so we had to come together quickly with an outreach because we had not planned. We had done a training in Cambodia. So for 40 people, 20 people one week and 20 people the next, but it had been asked to do an outreach. So that's a very large stage, but this is, effective, very effective too. All right.
Yes, puppeteering is very effective tool not only for the kids but for all ages. And during pandemic, during outreach activities, people around in the community were very curious and wondering how it goes. But when the puppet goes into life, they got starstruck on it, they hooked, and they began to listen to the story and to the gospel. For me, puppeteering is not just a performance. It is a ministry. It is a bridge to connect more people closer to Jesus. Because puppeteering is not just a simple stuff, no. puppet can capture the attentions of the kids and the audience. It also it helps tell stories to deeply connect to the kids, and also for the old ages, they resonate their lives to them. And puppet also facilitates social interactions. It also opens doors for conversations about faith. Do we have anything?
That's it, you can go on. Yeah, you can go over there. It's right there.
Okay. In our church, we do a, what do you call this, Mama? A skit. No, in our church, we do a skit for us to deliver to the children the effectiveness of the gospel. And we do the hook book, look tuk. The hook book, look tuk is a pattern for us to create a wonderful and effective lessons for the kids. Hook is to grab attentions using our stories, a short story, a games or activities. And book, it's all about the Bible story. Look is for the kids to reflect on what they learned, to connect the Bible story to their lives. And also the took encourage kids to apply they learned and take actions and make decisions. During pandemic, no one is allowed to get out. And our leader taught on how we able to reach out our kids. So our team divided into 4 groups composed of 4 members using the hook book look to patterns. We do a filming, we record videos and do filming and send it to our editor so that the editor should make it a short movie, 20 to 30 minutes, for our kids to reach out and to ministering them even it's pandemic. But after the pandemic, our video activities is very valuable for us because we minister the every locations just only for 1 to 2 volunteers, and it lead us to have more locations to administer because of the availability of the volunteers. And yes, and we also what else? We also during the in making us a video puppet, we use puppet in doing the hook, the book, and the took patterns to help us the kids to understand or to connect to the lessons and to avoid them to yes, to catch their attentions and not being bored in watching our videos. So, what else, Ma'am?
I think Jolene now.
Yeah.
Tony.
Yes, thank you for allowing me to share my experience, and may God may help us to use our puppet, these wonderful things to use to glorify our God. Thank you so much. To God be the glory.
I'm Maritoni Villanueva. I'm also one of the member of the Puppet with a Purpose. So when I was a kid, I love watching TV. I know everyone also loves TV, especially when there's puppet in it. One time, I had this program which is Sesame Street. I don't know if you know that. So it's nothing. Okay, it's Sesame Street. We also have that a local version in the Philippines, which is Batibot. We also have puppets here in the Philippines. Okay, so one thing's for sure is I love puppets. And in Sesame Street, they have so many puppets there, and I learn a lot from it, especially Count. Count Dracula. He loves counting and also Cookie Monster. Okay, so when I decided to join the ministry and I learned how to make the puppet and at the same time how to use it. And I realized that you can reach out so many children, not just in the Philippines. You can share your thoughts. You can share everything you have in you, especially about sharing the gospel. And by the time that we're sharing the gospel through puppetry, some of them learn how to pray, especially the 2 years old. They learn how to pray, and they know that they are loved by Jesus. Yes. So I was overwhelmed, and when COVID came, as what Ate Jeline said and Ma'am Sharon said, it's going to be very hard for us to reach out for the kids because they're not allowed to get out of their houses. So we made 20 to 25 minutes skit composed of, as what Ate Jeline said, it's the hook, took, book, and look. And the three of the groups made their own skit for that, running for 20, 25 minutes. Then everyone, every teacher, every volunteers went out on our barangays and Purok area. We carry our TV. Just imagine we have TV. We have the 32 inches TV. And it's quite heavy by the time. And we also have a big speaker. And also we have a microphone. So everyone on the neighborhood can hear us, not just the kids alone, but also the parents. So we're very much happy by that time. Not really happy because of the COVID, but so many kids listen to the story that we are sharing them, especially about Jesus. And after COVID, it's still effective using the TV. We're still using it nowadays. And after COVID, I guess we have so many children reach out. I guess we have 300 or less children within Antipolo area. We have so many barangays. I don't know the version of your location in other countries. Small version of community. That's barangay. Okay, so I also want to share about Ursel. So there's a bit idea about Ursel. He's one of our member and also our mentor. So he was the first group that Ma'am Sharon come up with. Then after that, I think there are 3 in their groups. And they decided to, went here in Antipolo to have this training. And where one of us learned how to do the puppets. Imagine, most of the attendees are young people, like this one in front. I don't want to say my age. You just have to guess. Okay, so we think that we have to make the best of it. So I learn, I try to do how Ate Jeline's voice, since I have a husky voice, it's a little bit hard for me. I have a girl puppet also. So, yeah, I have a little girl puppet. And then after that, that's the Cambodia time. It was a blessing for us. First, because it's a different country. It's the first time we went out of the country and to share the gospel, especially about Jesus. And somebody told me, some of our pastor there said, if you ever ask some people there, do you know Jesus? And one person said, is he a rock star? Is he a celebrity? So that's how hard to share Jesus to them, because they don't know anything about Jesus at all. Yeah. So when we went there in a particular place, some kids, I think they haven't seen puppets before. So they're so fascinated with puppets. And then we make a small skit for them. We made a small skit for them. And then it's a different skit. It's a song skit, and we played and we tried to play the kamay. Kamay, kamay. Do- Sana malakas, ma'am, siya.
What? Sorry. It's not gonna come over now on the speaker. Okay.
Also, these are some of the kids, student and kids. Most of them are 3 to 5 years old.
Just, that group is elementary.
Yeah, this one is elementary.
And then,
Yeah. So, again, we made a skit in Kamay. Ma'am Sharon, right, Kamay.
Can I borrow that?
Yes,
Or-
po.
Or let me step in for a second, and then we'll let Jessica go, because we're getting close to.
Also, the thing here is we went for doing workshops. We didn't go to present. That was all our equipment for the workshops where people get to make puppets and then learn how to use puppets. It's a 4-day workshop. So we were able to use things that we learned and some skits from there. We had one skit, so part of it was in Khmer, and this part a little bit was in English. But again, we had to come up in a short time with things. So whatever we knew, we went and used it for that. So like I said, it doesn't take a long time to put things together if you're practiced and you know what you're doing. Jessica's going to come up and share about, let's see if I can miss in on mission, okay?
Hello.
The effectiveness
Hi,
in
good
mission.
morning. Actually, I'm same thing, part of the Puppet with a Purpose team, but I'm a missionary dentist. So I go on mission, and as I remember, I don't know how many years ago, there was a team from Australia, and we used the puppet so effectively, especially with special needs children. There was a time that the patient was special need, and I cannot communicate with them because you know that Philippines has a different dialect, dialect. So it was so hard, and even the Australian team is "How are you today?" Isn't it? There's an accent which is different, but language is not a barrier. It's just how you hold your puppet that comes alive. And this child was crying. I cannot control it because she's a special need. So here comes the puppeteer holding the puppet. And by just moving it, by just dancing and saying something, but of course the child didn't know or didn't understand because it has an accent. Do you know what? This child stopped from crying and just focused on the puppet, how the puppeteer manipulate the puppet because it comes alive. That's how effective the puppet is. It will come alive. Like what we were, when we were in Cambodia, we don't know anything with Khmer. We cannot even read it because it's so hard to read it. It's so hard to understand it. But when the puppet moves, especially when they did some singing, I was inside the curtain, play with the puppet, and we were just dancing. I'm one of the puppeteer inside. So even the people around, the parents, were so happy to see it. Like as I remember, we just had we joined the camp at Malolos. It's a kids camp. First time that we were invited by Care Channels. It's a non-government organization. And then we did something. The trainers, even the counselors, they focused and they looked on how the puppet moves. They said that they remember their childhood. It brings back, and the joy that they felt in their heart they were saying, it's so amazing. we remember our childhood, Sesame Street, everything. So when you look at it, Cambodia, we don't know, but we got it right away. A simple, two of the one who joined us was they just attend the training, but after they asked, can we do it? So we did this. And then the one that you saw that we are singing, we don't know, we don't understand it, but our hands move. So it was so effective in sharing the gospel, encourage the children, especially when there were special needs, and even when, like a tribal mission, we do it with ALS, Alternative Learning, what is that? ALS,
Alternative learning
system. Alternative learning system. Some pastor invited us, and they incorporate the puppet. They said that using the puppet, most of the children or most of the adult or the tribe in that tribal area, they understand it and learned it more. So yeah, so don't be afraid, try to use the puppet, and I also do the voices or because I'm always in a medical mission, so I use or record the voice, like what I'm doing. Yeah. And then count. Because I'm a dentist, so I put the tongue on the palate or settle your tongue on your jaw like that, or put your tongue on the cheek. It will create more of the different voice. Thank you.
So yeah, so this one then was that song we've been practicing, that past one, and we came up with the props and everything overnight, and the whole thing. If you look, here where you can present, okay, in neighborhoods, right? In parking lots, or that might be a basketball court, or it's a parking lot, okay? Anywhere where people will gather. This is in a church. That's a PVC stage. This is at a gathering outside of where a bunch of churches were gathered. This is in a large basketball court. We had like 1,500 or 2,000 students. I prefer smaller groups, but this is in my house. But see, your stages could be anything. 10 to 12-year-olds, they have built their own puppets, and they're great puppeteers. They can be. So here are just different ways that you can use it. There's a hoop stage. You could just, some things, let me pause that. Okay, so here are some things about puppetry and its effectiveness. It can help people feel better about communicating. Puppets are not threatening like people can be. One time I was learning magic, because I also did clowning and magic, and I was learning some card tricks at a workshop with other Filipinos in Bulacan. And we went out into a park, and I invited 4 nursing students to come watch my trick, if I could show a trick. And I'm sharing the trick, and I put a blindfold on, and I'm doing the trick, and I'm sharing the gospel in the trick too, because you can make parallels between different things, right? This is a trick that's messy, and then it gets all cleaned up magically, so our lives can be messy, so we relate it, right? And so I think when I took my blind off, there were like 15 people gathered around me instead of 4. And so I had another partner with me who happened to be a pastor. And so at that time I thought, well, I don't want to be the star of the show, so I'm going to pass it off to my partner here. And I happened to say the word Pastor so-and-so. And I said, I'm going to let you go on from here, Pastor so-and-so. And I lost, maybe I had 4 or 5 people left. Other people were like, oh, I have to go this, I have to go do that. And they, okay, because religious words like pastor, things like that, can be scary and intimidating to people who aren't, part of the church. They may have had bad experiences, but something like a puppet, if you're doing it in the right way and that puppet is emanating the love of Christ, that they might listen better to that, just like they were listening better to this magician who is also a believer, and I could have gone on and shared the whole gospel with them, right? But I said that religious word and it scared some people away. So it's the same thing with puppets. They're happy, fun, playful, identifiable. Puppets help the puppeteer have more confidence. Okay, puppets can help relieve anxiety. They're safe and non-threatening. They can help people understand emotions better by empathizing with them. Research has shown that puppet shows can significantly reduce anxiety, especially among children and adolescents. And I would assume that works among adults too. Okay, I had an adult in my church in the States because when I go home, sometimes I do ventriloquism. It's easy to pack and move. Okay, and so the kids were laughing. My character, who's in there, is a rascal, right? And he wants to learn and do the right thing, but he gets things messed up. And one of the adult men who's a principal in a school, big guy, he was laughing and he was talking along with the kids, answering the puppet and things like that. And afterwards he said, you know, I stopped to think, why am I talking to this puppet? It's not real, but I got caught up, right? So it can be effective even in the adults that are there with their children and not expecting to get caught up. So let's see. It engages the audience. It involves the audience in the story. Sorry. Puppetry involves the audience in the story, just like the parables did. People can step into different creative situations and see things from a different perspective and understand the emotions of the puppets and identify with them. These pretend characters help people experience and think about real-life situations and how to handle them. Okay, but they're not looking at themselves at first, they're looking at this puppet. It's kind of like with David and Samuel, right? So when Samuel told him the story, and David, it should be this way, and Samuel said, that's you. So puppetry can kind of help people see things that way. It gives people a chance to use their imagination to creatively problem solve as they watch things unfold. It can it can spark a curiosity and get one imagining about Jesus, about God, about the things discussed. So when I think of the verse in the Bible about we have this treasure in jars of clay, that's what I think of with the puppets, that we have this treasure in this figure of foam, right? That God can use me through this puppet to shine his light into the world in a different way. It's just a different way because everybody does not receive things the same way. Some people are more visual. Some people, if you're really serious, that will hit home, but other people might need joy first, right? Before they receive the seriousness of things. Puppetry is just one way to kind of share the gospel of Jesus, share the truths of God's word in a way that's kind of like using parables. Because you can tell stories in so many ways with them. And let's see. All right, so just before we open up for question and answer time, I'll show you a couple things. So Jeline has her bag with her
Ang
also.
saya-saya nila, no?
Oh, sorry.
Opo, masaya ka ba? Masaya ka bang nakilala sila? Opo, Mama Eva.
Sorry. I can close that up. Sorry. All right, sorry about that. So we have a small backpack. These puppets you can learn how to build online. This one was my first one that I modified one of the half-body puppets into a ventriloquist puppet. And this is Kiko. And Kiko is that one that older man was, not older man, the gentleman was laughing at and responding to. So this is Kiko, who happens to get in a lot of silly experiences and learns from them. He likes to do crafts, and so often he might wear a costume or something to help tell the story. Yeah, and he loves to tell stories.
Yeah, I really do.
So anyways, he and he can pack up in this. And when I made him, I wanted something that would be really good for traveling on mission with somebody who can't carry a lot of weight, like if they're on a plane or whatever. He packs into this. I actually also packed this all into my backpack that I carry on the plane with my computer, and he fit under the seat. So he's lightweight. You would just want to protect him in plastic from weather if you were going somewhere where there might be mountain. I'm going to lay him down like that there. These are some of the short body puppets, and they're not expensive to make. And here's another ventriloquist puppet that I made, a little bit bigger than that. His name is Hershey. He doesn't have as big a vocabulary. He talks more simply, but the younger kids really love him. So he's been presented in elementary. So you can do all ages, just design your puppet accordingly. Yeah, we do workshops, and if the Lord works things out, we'll go wherever he works out. We teach, we help you build the puppets. It depends on if you're doing ventriloquism, it would be one similar to him, or if it's just stage puppetry, one like this, these kind here. So, we've really found it very useful in our lives. And like I said, you can have people standing on the sidelines that are watching, and like with Ursel, one couple, parents of one of the children watching, approached him afterwards because it makes the puppeteer friendly. If the puppets are friendly and inviting, they feel more likely that they can go speak to the puppeteers. And then they wound up, since they lived a couple hours away, they wound up doing, through Messenger, I guess, a Bible study together. So you don't know the influencer who it's going to influence, because it's not just the puppet that's important, it's the believer behind the puppet. And that's what's really influencing outside, the Lord through the believer outside. And people can tell on the outside if the people behind the curtain will be approachable or not. And that can open up lots of doors. So we're going to open up now to any questions that you might have, and you can ask any of us. Yes, yes.
Thanks for bringing me back to my childhood. Could you demonstrate to us, like, what are the skills needed to move the left hand and right hand? Maybe you can do it without the curtain. And also, like, how many voices do you need to make to tell a story?
Oh, you can tell a story in one voice if you're using, well, ventriloquism would be your own voice, and then another voice for your puppet. And you just have to determine what you think is the right voice for that puppet. So like with him, this is easy because you don't need like arm rods and things. You can just bring your puppet. So all of the puppeteers here can do ventriloquism as well. He sometimes stands, and we joke about his legs moving, but he can only move one at a time. I wouldn't let him hang in the air. He would be like this, and as he's telling his story like of Jonah, and they walked and walked and walked. You're only moving one leg. Yeah, well, that's all I can do. So you can, make things like that in there. So basically, or he could sit on a stand that you have here, and then it's just your hand like this. You can practice puppetry like this. So lip sync is an important thing. We would teach lip sync in a workshop. That's when you open for each syllable. Hello, how are you? Now, with ventriloquism, you're trying not to move your mouth, okay? With puppetry, it doesn't matter. You're behind a stage. So it's nice to start with the stage puppetry. You want to come and grab your puppet? We don't have arm rod on anybody, do we?
We have.
So sorry, she's still naked. She doesn't have her clothes on. She's bold. Okay, so anyways. So you can put an arm rod. She has ones that can fit inside. So you would use an arm rod, and so both of them could be operated by one hand. And that just takes practice. So you can drop one, you can drop them both, like you shouldn't hold them all the time. If you're behind a stage, you're like kneeling, or you could sit on a chair, but kneeling gives you more movement than sitting on a chair, because puppets should like enter, and entrances is one thing we teach, right? In the beginning, like you're coming upstairs, and then when you leave, you're going down the stairs. Lip sync is how to open and close your mouth, so it looks like you're really speaking, not like a bad Chinese movie or something like that that's not lip synced correctly. You know? Let's see, eye contact. So when you're up above the stage, that you're looking down at the audience. You know, you don't want to look up like that. Forget your hands. So often we tell the puppeteers, keep your arm by your ear, so you have your straight arm, so you're the right height, and watch where your eyes are looking. Okay? And then, let's see, movement. So they could be walking, you know, how they turn around and look. You can show some hand movement, like blow kisses.
Blow kisses. Mwah.
Praise the Lord. If she had two arm rods on, sometimes you could lift the two together and do things like praising the Lord. You'd lift them both, clapping. There's some different ways to do it that you kind of. It's almost like learning to use chopsticks. I don't know. A little bit. Here, put the other one on her there. So these are things we would go over if we had a workshop, all those different things, how to develop the different kinds of skits. You can do skits that tell a story. We call that a story skit. This we call the teacher puppet skit. And then the other is the music skit. And then you incorporate them all in. And always, the important thing isn't just doing your puppetry, but that's later then your person is going to come out, the person who really knows the Lord, because we use the puppets sometimes to give an example of praying, but if we really want the kids to pray, then we're going to have a person lead it, because we don't want a pretend thing being the one to lead them in real prayer. We want a real person. Or we come afterwards and we try to help them connect what we've been sharing in our message with the puppets. We try to help them connect it to real life. So the person is very important in this, that the person comes out afterward and makes that connection. So what am I forgetting? We have entrances, exits, lip sync, eye movement, realistic movement,
Voice.
and voice. Yeah.
The voice.
So that's
The voice, it's gonna be me.
it just depends on where. Like I don't usually use a high voice. You can use the girl voice well.
Mine is kind of more like this. I usually do boys. I just do because I don't know. I like rascals. So mine is usually like this. I haven't used him in a little while, so I'd have to practice again. He's I can't remember, but he's simple. He doesn't say as much. The other talks more because he tells stories. You develop your own personality for each one, and then you'll know how they go and what sounds right for them when you're doing it. I have a larger, like Monkey I created, but I have trouble with his, I can't think of a right voice for him, so I'm probably going to sell him or something. I love Monkey since I was a kid, but I just can't get the right voice for him. So hers is a little deeper.
Mine is deeper.
But we
I
pre-tape
usually
things.
say it like this. I usually put my tongue or here, use it in here. You can do it here. Yeah. Or you can count 1, 2, 3. But a different one. Like you put your tongue on your palate, that's a different one. It will create more voice.
So it's a lot
Or
of playing in your
old
mouth.
man.
Or
How are you? I'm so thirsty. Can I have that?
if you get to come to the program tomorrow night at 7 at Laurland, she's the old man. She's Jacob.
I'm the old man. I usually do the voice, record it, because sometimes I'm not.
For the skits, we
here.
often pre-record. And I'm Potiphar's flirty wife. So and there's other voices on there, but you can raise your voice higher. So I could do a girl voice,
Or you can do nasal. That's a nasal
Yes,
voice.
That's a nasal voice.
So it just depends on your character. Like maybe this I might use if I had, that would probably be a boy voice, and probably maybe he's a smart guy. I might use that voice for him if I were developing one for me. Yeah, so it's just you're kind of playing with different things. There's nasal, there's things back, like I could do something like this if I wanted to be maybe a wolf, but I can't do that long. You know, it's going to hurt my voice, so I won't do that. So my husband, he can do a voice like that, and it's fine for him. That's what I would do for like a wolf or something, but it's hard for me to maintain it. So you have to think of those things too. Any other questions? Let's see what time it is.
10:30.
Okay. All right, we have 1 minute on my phone. Any other questions, or does that do it? But yeah, so if wherever you are interested in workshops, I'll be away for a while, so it probably won't ensue again until after about 5 or 6 months, or at least, but we could be planning and praying. Like I said, in workshops, you get to build a puppet. That's 1 day, and depending on if it's ventriloquism or puppetry workshop, it's either a 2-day or 3.5-day workshop. And yeah, if the Lord provides our needs, then we can go to other countries and do workshops. Or if you're here in the area, you can find us, Puppets with a Purpose. I don't think I brought any of my cards, but I could give you our information, or you could ask Brother Joshua, yeah, and different people here at registration, yeah, too. So thank you very much. Let me just introduce, this is Dr. Jessica Ladderis. So she's a full-time dental missionary and a puppeteer, okay, and puppet builder as well. And they also build puppets too. Okay, so this is Veritoni Villanueva. And Evangeline Orindai. Huh? I'm saying your full name, Tony. And that's Tony, and I'm Sharon Tucker.